I'm Bella Leachin, and I'm here with my co-captains, Ashley Post and Eleanor Zwart, and we're members of the Dartmouth women's swimming and diving team.
Our team was cut in July, and we were eventually reinstated, I remember, on January 29th. So it took a total of 6 months, and then we began talking with Nancy and Champion Women in November, and then got in contact with Arthur in December. So once we got in contact with them, it was a pretty quick timeline.
In July, I remember I was on campus taking summer classes. I was living with some other swimmers, and we received an email asking that we join a Zoom call in 15 minutes from the moment that we received the email. And in that Zoom call, no room for questions. We were told by our previous athletic director that our team, along with 4 others, was being cut from Dartmouth's athletic program. And we had no say in the matter. Our coaches had no say in the matter. And from that moment on, we were not a varsity sport.
My coach called me because it was a pretty important meeting. He just was like, Bella, I wanted to let you know that this is a pretty serious meeting. Athletic director decided to cut the swim and dive team. And I was just speechless. My coach, Chris, continued to go on, and he said, we had no idea about this. Milena, Helena, and Jamie, who are our former coaches, just found out last night.
And everything was just super overwhelming because there was so much going on. A lot of people reached out, especially alumni and our family and friends, to see how they could help, which was super appreciated. And a lot of us started to jump into action. So we started the Save Dartmouth Swim and Dive Instagram, which got a lot of traction, and it was kind of really exciting to see. And we felt like we were getting some headway.
And there was a maybe 4-hour period of just shock and disbelief. And I remember visiting some other teammates and walking into their house, and you could feel the tension in the room, and people were just sitting on couches, staring at the wall. Some people were crying. Alumni reached out to us, and they were already mobilizing. They were gathering their forces, and they wanted to know what they could do to help. So they reached out to us, said, hey, this happened before, so we know how to fix it, and we're going to fix it, and we're not going to let this be the end.
Dartmouth Swim and Dive was also cut in 2003 and eventually reinstated. So they had been through this before, and we're like, wow, we can't believe that we're in the same place again, but it actually went to our advantage because they were already and even more angry the second time that this had happened to us.
The timing that Dartmouth chose for this was, I thought, really insensitive.
We tried reaching out and just asking for the metrics, what went into the decision to cut these teams? Why were these teams chosen over others? And they said that they could not disclose that information. So what were we to do with that decision?
The Dartmouth website. And one of the questions was does this decision comply with the Title IX guidelines? And they just responded, yes, this is in compliance with the Title IX. And with no data or any reason to second guess, we just kind of took that for their word, which in hindsight was a big mistake. And we later figured all of that out.
And that's, I think, why it took us so long to even start any Title IX action. We were cut in July, and we didn't hear from Nancy until November. And Nancy actually came to us and said, hey, we checked Dartmouth's numbers. This is not true. They are not in compliance. And for us, it was shocking for Dartmouth to have been so dishonest with their numbers, but also really exciting for us to see hey, we have a real shot at getting our team back.
The first presentation that Nancy and Champion Women gave with our whole team and a lot of the alumni, she had this whole presentation ready to go for us, showing exactly where Dartmouth is not in compliance. And she seemed so confident about everything. And we were wow, really, is this actually true? It was super exciting to hear because at that point, our efforts were kind of dwindling. Everything we were trying wasn't working.
When Nancy reached out to us, it was 5 months after we were cut. And at that point, I know I felt as though we had tried everything. And I think that some of us were still working really hard to find ways that we could possibly find a chance of reinstatement. But I would say the majority of our team had almost come to terms with the fact that they wouldn't be swimming or diving again. How did we not know about this? These numbers have been here all along, and we just took administration's word that they were in compliance with Title IX. And as Ashley said, she was so confident that these numbers were wrong and that we could do something about it. And so then it was like a light was switched on. And after we talked to Nancy, we started talking to Arthur Bryant, our lawyer. And I remember we had our first call with him, I believe, in early December. And he, following Nancy, was also confident. And then at that point, I thought, wait, we can do this. We can get this team back.
I was still really hesitant about it because I didn't want to get my hopes up that the team was actually going to come back. We talked with Arthur, I think, in December. And I remember we had a meeting with just the girls on the women's team who decided to sign on to the settlement. And for us, there was a decent amount. There was at least 15 women, I believe. So that was really awesome to see us all come together and try and save this team. I know a lot of people were pretty hesitant at the beginning on whether to sign on. And Arthur was super honest about with us. And he was very helpful by explaining everything, any potential risks. He was very reassuring and that the college isn't going to come after you about this. They just want it to go away. It's really a cool thing to be a part of. Looking back, I still can't believe that we all were a part of this. And I actually mentioned it in a job interview, and the guy was really impressed and said that it reflected a lot of courage, which was really good to hear.
The hardest part was getting our team to sign on. We're going against a multi-billion-dollar institution that we love. And to stick our names out there on a legal document was really scary. A lot of us were scared about any negative repercussions, something that would happen with the school if the school would expel us or suspend us for taking this legal action, or if it would affect our opportunities for grad school or jobs in the future. But as Ashley said, if anything, this lawsuit and our standing against Title IX has made our opportunities even more. I talked to one of my really close mentors about it, and it was still definitely scary to go up against Dartmouth, but she told me something that was really reassuring. And she said that there's no crime in fighting for something that you believe is right. And that's when I decided to sign on and fight for a team that I loved.
Both Nancy and Arthur's confidence was absolutely contagious. And they came to us and said, these are the numbers. Dartmouth is in the wrong. We know they're in the wrong. We can make a difference and we can get this team back. And so because they were so confident, it almost wasn't a question for me. I said, they're confident, so then I'm confident. I'm going to put my name on this document. And then I think that kind of spread throughout the team. As soon as one person says they're going to do it, if you care about the team as well, you're going to do it as well. So I think that collectively we came together on that. And it was so great that all 14 of us signed, because that made each individual person signing maybe not as big a deal.
It was also our parents who supported us. We had this whole Dartmouth Swim and Dive alumni network who was behind us this entire time, as well as the other Dartmouth athletes were in support of us for most of this whole journey.
As soon as they stated that, oh yes, our numbers are in the wrong, it was just hit the ground running. Once Arthur told us that the motion had started, I was confident. I think the team was confident. We couldn't say anything because it was all under wraps, but I was sure that we were getting the team back. And then that feeling when they made the announcement was absolutely unreal. And I remember within seconds of it going public, I was receiving texts from acquaintances who I barely know, people who don't even go to Dartmouth, saying, hey, congrats, it's really amazing. I'm sure you had a part of it.
It was just one of the best days that I can remember.
Arthur was great in protecting our identity and maintaining confidentiality, which was really reassuring.
I want to reiterate that we absolutely would not be here without our alumni networks. I remember the summer they came to us with everything planned, and it was almost as though they had the plan and they told us what we could do. And then we were working with them. It was I had no idea that all these Dartmouth swimmers and divers were out there just waiting to jump on and help us get reinstated.
You're so not alone in this. So many people are supporting you and cheering you on. And this is something that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. It's not just like a in the moment thing. It can actually like impact your whole like outlook.
Not only does this benefit you like currently, but it also benefits generations of women to come. Like the fight for gender equity in sports is something that I think every woman is on board for, something that's really going to pay off in the long run. So we're really excited and thankful for this opportunity. And we hope that you will all join us in our 50 by 50 campaign to increase gender equity in sports across the country.